Despite spending a minute in jail, Durk hasn't really vanished. The rapper demonstrated that he is still working hard while incarcerated by releasing an entire song from his cell in the federal detention center in Miami. His time inside has not been quiet, as there have been many moments that only Durk could supply. The camera never lies, as they say, and in his case, it has been capturing everything. Everything you might possibly expect from the All My Life rapper is included in the video, including scenes that appear to have been taken directly from one of his rhymes and unexpected shenanigans in the jailhouse. Durk is being held. Make sure to return as we look at some of the most bizarre video from Lil Durk's imprisonment for ordering a hit on OTF Jam's baby mama. Antics have been discussed by fans. Despite how dramatic the world he left behind seemed, Durk's existence behind bars and recent events have everyone talking about the Chicago rapper already facing federal accusations. According to reports, allegations of murder for H plot have been linked to the jail's surprising decision to plan a hit on OTF Jam's baby mama. But how did Jam deserve that? Jam was formerly a valuable and reliable member of Lil Durk's OTF team. Insiders claim that the OTF circle is appalled to see that he has been as an informant for the federal government. After he was released from a 12-year jail sentence for attempted murder in 2012, Durk reportedly treated him like a brother, even gifting him automobiles valued at $50,000 as a token of his respect and value to the gang at the time. This is where his purported shift from loyalty to treachery started. With no indication of disloyalty, Jam's reputation appeared to be flawless. According to an insider, he proudly stated in interviews upon his release from a 12-year prison sentence that he had remained honest while inside.
12 years. Got out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name, he ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually.
According to the insider, Jam made it clear that he had no criminal history and that he had not been accused of snitching or treachery. The former OTF member seems to have reintegrated into the gang without any issues for a while, reaping the rewards of being devoted to the crew and upholding his morals. However, things quickly deteriorated when Jam found himself in legal difficulties once more and turned to Durk for assistance. Rumor has it that Jam's baby mother attempted to contact Durk to set up a lawyer for Jam, but her calls were not returned. Because Jam felt ignored, tensions rose, and their once close relationship started to fall apart. The time frame is what makes this story even more bizarre, even though Jam was first welcomed by OTF after serving a 12-year prison sentence. But behind the scenes, things weren't as stable as they appeared. Rumors circulated that threats were being exchanged. Jam had already begun wearing a wire and informing the federal authorities about Durk and OTF's actions. After being freed, Jam allegedly continued to assist the police, providing evidence that connected Durk to a number of crimes, including the well-known murder-for-hire scheme that targeted Dilemma. Look, Rondo.
Get to OTF Jam.
I think we looked into him already.
He's the one that ate the cheese.
No way. No.
Rumor has it that after hearing of Jam's betrayal, Durk, who was already incarcerated, felt deceived and sought revenge, supposedly from his jail cell. For Jam's baby mom, Octavia Redmond, a 48-year-old postal worker who was shot many times on July 19, 2024, while delivering mail in the West Pullman district of South Chicago, Durk offered a bounty. The gunman fled the scene in a stolen car, which was later discovered burned out and abandoned in a nearby community. The assault was planned. Surveillance footage showed a masked assailant leaving the stolen car hidden near the murder, seen returning a short while later and then running away. 2 months after she was killed, a 15-year-old child was found to be the shooter, taken into custody in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, charged with felony first-degree murder, and taken to Chicago for extradition. Redmond was more than just a defenseless victim. Charges pertaining to Lil Durk and his involvement with OTF were mostly directed at her. Jam, a former loyalist who is now charged with disseminating misleading information about government informants online, claims that Durk set up Redmond's death as payback after learning that he had been wearing a wire and working with the feds for years. According to these accounts, Durk allegedly ignored Jam's baby mama, Redmond, when she pleaded with him for assistance in retaining legal counsel, thereby intensifying their dispute. After Jam's betrayal was made public, Durk is accused of even releasing a hit on her while he was incarcerated as a warning to anyone considering betraying him, are still unsubstantiated, but they have generated contentious discussions on social media. YouTuber and influencer Poetic Flacco posted that federal agents thought Durk was involved in both the murder of Redmond and the death of Stephen Mack, Durk's brother DT's alleged shooter. The story claims that Redmond's killing had a similar cause to Stephen Mack's murder, which was described as another revenge homicide. Two attackers got out of a car in the open outside the Youth Peace Center in Chicago's Roseland neighborhood on January 7, 2022, injuring Mack and a security guard. It led to Mack's death. In December 2023, a federal grand jury accused two men, Preston Powell and Anthony Montgomery Wilson, with Max's. Wilson entered a not guilty plea to murder. Powell stayed there. The stories of treachery and revenge have only gotten louder and on the run, even if there isn't any hard proof connecting Durk to these killings. Jam supposedly turned against his country after serving a 12-year prison sentence, becoming an informant and working covertly as a trusted OTF operative. According to reports, federal investigations into Durk and the murder for a bigger plan against Quando Ronda mostly depended on the evidence collected against Jam. According to a well-known hip-hop insider who spoke with DJ Academics, Durk's refusal to assist Jam's baby mama was the reason for the fallout. Whether it's the Quando Rondo incident or others he's been telling for, the academics asked Jam. They also asked him if he disagreed with the accusations that he was wearing wiretaps. Wack 100, known for revealing business secrets, claims that Jam began working with the FBI as soon as he was freed in 2022. Durk's current legal. The shooting at the Beverly gas station, which murdered Lupe B. Quando Rondo's cousin at this exact moment, is thought to have made matters worse. Durk's disdain for Jam's plea for assistance might have been the last straw, but Jam's choice to work with the feds proved fatal. The dynamics are brutal here. According to Trenches, they will take care of you if the boss doesn't feed the murderers and look after his employees. Durk's desire for retribution was both a show of strength and an angry response to treachery. It is an enlightening reminder of the most crucial rap game rule: snitches get stitches. However, as the FBI drew closer, what transpired seemed like something from a Hollywood script, a high-stakes, dangerous escape attempt that was nearly too good to be true. It sounds like a scene from a movie about his attempt to elude the FBI. When the Fed began to close in, Durk allegedly made a bold move by organizing not one, not two, but 3 foreign tickets in what appeared to be a conscious attempt to deceive federal agents. The disruption was supposedly caused by 5 of Durk's claimed OTF crew members, Deandra Wilson, crashing down before they had even left the runway. Keith Jones. In relation to the Quando Rondo hit attempt, his group was imprisoned, and David Lindsay, ASA Houston, and another unidentified defendant were detained. According to an FBI insider, Durk went to great lengths to book flights to Dubai and Switzerland from airports in South Florida. But when those plans fell through, he went all out and booked a private aircraft to Italy. When Durk switched from flying commercial to private and landed at Miami's Opa-locka Executive Airport an hour before the plane was scheduled to take off, the FBI was already ahead of the game, tracking his every move. Some, like his lawyer Bradford Cohen, who has defended rappers like Kodak Black, disagree, while others have viewed the multiple bookings as an escape attempt. Durk's plan was a calculated effort to avoid government jurisdiction, but he couldn't get past the jurisdictional cooperation and the FBI's monitoring game. Cohen attempted to preserve Durk's reputation by implying that he might not have been running, but rather was merely checking to see whether there was an active warrant against him. It's common for people to book international tickets if they're not sure of their legal status because it can be hard to tell if a warrant is out, and traveling abroad can trigger that alert, he said. This idea presents a significantly different picture of a man attempting to navigate murky legal waters. Despite this explanation, Cohen said that rather than simply avoiding punishment, anyone may utilize travel reservations to see if they are identified and that arrest warrants aren't always made public. However, the testing the waters theory is not accepted by the FBI. Furthermore, they think Durk's actions are a clear attempt to get away. Investigators believe Durk was trying to avoid the heat that was rapidly advancing on him, and reports indicate that there was substantial evidence to support the arrest of his crew members. Durk's defense team is already attempting to refute the Fed's allegations that he was a major contributor to a murder by arguing that many bookings do not automatically signify an intent to flee. Durk's first phone call from prison set the tone for how he intends to handle the approaching storm and gave supporters an insight into his thoughts. He is not keeping quiet in spite of the hire scheme's apparent complex future. Fans had not heard directly from the Chicago rapper since his arrest on federal allegations of murder for hire on October 24 until Lil Durk's first call from jail, which shocked the hip-hop scene. It also denied allegations that Durk had agreed to protective custody during his incarceration. The call was posted on Instagram by a coworker, demonstrating Durk's will to fight for his release and to be with his family again. Positive remarks about Durk were included in the caption of 900 Bruce's 2-minute Instagram video of the call. Durk spoke clearly and attentively throughout the conversation, affirmed to the audience that he was receiving good treatment in prison, and clarified that, contrary to what had been implied online, he was not hiding in protective custody. He didn't get into specifics of his case, but it was clear that he was fighting not just for himself, but also for the opportunity to be with his family again and carry on his family's history. A closer look reveals obvious connections to OTF posts, including pictures of Durk with other crew members, including the Book of 600 and OTF collaborations. Rappers such as Bonnie Mo. The connection between Durk and 900 Bruh is a little hazy. The author's obvious membership with Durk's inner circle lends credence to the call's legitimacy. The legal battle that lies ahead is enormous, and Durk's ability to remain composed during such a trying period has struck a chord with both peers and fans. This first call serves as a message to his supporters and demonstrates his fortitude in the face of extreme adversity. Everyone is reminded of the reasons Durk is frequently referred to as the voice. It's not just his music. It's also about his tenacity, his connections to the streets, and his dedication to those who have supported him. Whether the law is. However, Durk will soon be able to see his family, and his voice from behind bars shows that he isn't giving up. However, his next move demonstrated that he is still a major player in the rap industry, even though he is incarcerated. With Hypnocar, Durk released a verse from jail that reaffirmed why so many people believe he is the greatest of all time. Durk continues to remind the public that his engagement in the game is far from ended, even in the face of grave criminal charges. Fans are delighted about Hypnocar's latest song, Where's Smirk Go?, which was released on November 1st, 2024, as it allegedly represents Durk's first public statement since his imprisonment. The Chicago rapper is demonstrating that his career remains a key concern by releasing a verse immediately after being released from prison, featuring a recording of Durk fervently representing OTF on the phone in a federal prison, calling Hypnocar his mother's brother from a distance. He made the audacious declaration, "Rest in peace, legend OTF, and I take over your streets." It shows his fans and his enemies that, even if he is behind bars, he is still in charge and preparing for his comeback. In an effort to remind everyone that despite his legal issues, Durk is still a major player in the game, he has decided to appear on Hypnocar's Where Smirk Go. By doing this, Durk maintains his reputation and demonstrates that he isn't letting his conditions to constrain him in an area where amnesia may readily be brought on by disappearance. When the song was released, the streets were on fire. Fans commended Durk's perseverance and awarded him credit for staying active despite several grave accusations. Even though not everyone was persuaded, the streets were separated. Some accused Caro of trying to gain influence. On social media, arguments broke out as some people questioned the legitimacy of the jail call. Some even suggested that artificial intelligence was involved, while one person joked that they would feel a certain way if their friend called from jail to introduce themselves. Some steadfastly maintained that the voice was completely different from Durk's. Even though this type of conversation emphasizes how divisive Durk's current presence is, Hypno Caro thinks that this change extends beyond only music. Caro has been a member of the OTF family for all time. He has been there for Durk through all of the highs and lows, from being featured on the song Ghetto from Durk's Remember My Name album in 2015 to going on a 40-city tour with him. Caro has been actively advertising OTF while sporting Durk. It's more than just proving that Smirk is still relevant today. For his brother, behind bars is a declaration of solidarity and devotion. Durk's present detention adds even more complexity to the plot. He is being charged by the federal government with an alleged murder-for-hire conspiracy. A well-known individual like Durk finds it difficult to handle the most severe accusations that could end his career. He is reportedly dealing with the usual difficulties of incarceration, like trying to stay focused and hating the cuisine. But the fact that he released a movie from prison shows that his drive and astute mind haven't wavered. He's still making plans and is dedicated to leaving his mark in spite of these obstacles. As a reminder of the bonds that hold OTF together, Caro's choice to feature Durk on the song also exemplifies the kind of commitment that permeates the group. However, loyalty does not always shield one from criticism in the rap industry or on the streets. The online back and forth exemplifies the dichotomy of Durk's current circumstances. Although his fans love and support him, he is also constantly examined by skeptics and critics. Durk never stops trying to connect with his audience, honor his history, and remind everyone that he's not done, whether it's through a prison phone or a microphone. Durk is demonstrating how important his Islam is to his life by claiming to be a devoted Muslim, a trait that existed before his present legal issues. Durk is still alive and will return, but he is now using a platform that goes beyond music to express his beliefs as an Islamist who became an Islamist while incarcerated. The Chicago rapper has been advocating for peace and self-reflection using his platform while he is detained while awaiting trial. He caused a stir with his vocal declaration of faith when he said that he doesn't gangbang since he is a Muslim. This has nothing to do with a jailhouse conversion or a desperate newfound religion. Durk regained his Muslim identity on Instagram long before he was in prison, something he had always done. He wants to be known as a pious Muslim, a father, and a man. In a follow-up, he expressed his strong belief that gang life and faith cannot coexist and underlined the need for someone to confront this reality head-on. His statement seemed to have more conviction. That this fact needs to be acknowledged. Durk's transformation into a more pious individual is a significant shift he has been striving for years, long before his current legal issues. He had already started using his position to advocate for peace and address the violence in his hometown of Chicago. In 2022, he made it known that he intended to reduce violence and create strategies to bring the community together. He expressed his determination to contribute in a positive way and acknowledged the difficulty of kicking old habits. He explained the ongoing challenge of staying on a better course by saying that even when someone makes an effort to do almost everything accurately, remnants of earlier issues might still exist. His recent statements continue that goal with a new emphasis on Islam, which lends his speech a more authentic tone. He appears to be totally rejecting gang life, leaning into a faith that has always been a part of who he is, even if it has been occasionally overshadowed by other aspects of his life. In addition to improving himself, his commitment to faith and peace is a deliberate message to his followers and supporters. He clarified when discussing his music that while it is a representation of his experiences, it does not aim to glorify or elevate life on the streets. He stated unequivocally that his music will stay faithful to those memories, even when his personal goals have evolved to reflect a higher purpose. Even as some skeptics speculate that this public reaffirmation of Durk's faith is a legal ploy to boost his image, those who regularly follow him know that this journey began long before his current legal issues. In this chapter, Lil Durk discusses accepting his past, learning from it, and moving forward with purpose as he attempts to reevaluate his life and concentrate on a higher goal. His commitment to change advocacy and self-improvement is not new. It stems from years of introspection and a desire to significantly impact both music and life. Found guilty of 2 more crimes while jailed, Lil Durk already faces a difficult uphill climb from behind bars after being imprisoned on conspiracy charges pertaining to an alleged murder. After being charged with 2 new felonies, the Chicago rapper for hire's legal troubles are getting worse. The judge determined that there was enough evidence to let Lil Durk stand trial when he appeared in court today. The prosecution claims that Durk-born Durk Banks played a key role in organizing the revenge that led to the shooting death of Sava Robinson, a cousin of Georgia rapper Quando, at a patrol station in August 2022. Rondo. The new allegations say Durk used coded signals to order the murder. The 2020 murder of King Von, Durk's close friend and co-worker, who was shot dead outside an Atlanta nightclub during a dispute involving Rondo's group, is cited by prosecutors as the reason behind the for-hire scheme. Investigators claimed that after Von's death, Durk sought retribution and made it clear through secret conversations that anyone wishing to carry out the murder would be rewarded. The details of the purported conspiracy theories are extremely specific. According to reports, Durk gave the team some money, and when they traveled from Chicago into California, they seemed to have a single goal in mind. They allegedly tracked Rondo's movements for hours while conducting the ambush at a Beverly Center gas station using multiple vehicles. The shooting, which was captured on tape, saw 18 rounds fired at Rondo's vehicle. His relative Robinson did not have the same luck as Rondo in surviving the attack. According to court documents, Durk led the scheme and allegedly provided cash for the trip while also supervising important plot points. Financial documents indicate that Durk is associated with housing, airline, and equipment expenses used in the attack, such as ski masks that one of his co-defendants, Kevin London Grant, had bought. Durk and Grant reportedly arrived in Los Angeles just before the murder. Prosecutors claim that Durk has continued to lead illegal activity as the leader of a violent collective while pursuing mainstream popularity. They further claim that Durk's words and secret actions directly contributed to the events that resulted in Robinson's death. The contradiction of Lil Durk's current circumstances is astounding. By portraying himself as a man of faith and peace, he is separating himself from the streets that shaped his early years. But despite serious federal allegations that he is the mastermind of a deadly revenge plot, his supporters and legal team are sticking by him. But because of the weight of these charges, Durk is facing one of the most difficult circumstances of his life and career as he awaits extradition to Los Angeles. His subsequent actions while detained shed light on his psyche, despite the story's painful and complex contrast between his public persona and the charges against him. By declaring that he will submit a not guilty plea because he believes he can refute the charges, Durk is demonstrating that he is prepared to fight back. The staff at the Breakfast Club is also talking about Durk's predicament and has jumped on the most recent snippet of information. Durk is allegedly getting ready to make a not guilty plea to the. According to TMZ, the rapper appears to believe he has a genuine chance of winning this case because he is facing serious murder accusations that might carry more severe punishments. Durk is prepared to fight this case to the finish because he is positive that the evidence won't be used against the Breakfast Club. They discussed Durk's legal team's approach to the case in an honest manner. Durk's not guilty plea meant more to Charlemagne than merely dropping the accusations. It showed he was steadfast in his conviction that he could disprove them. This action may be a premeditated one to show the court and his supporters that he is not going to give up under federal law, even though he is in a Miami detention facility, Angela Yee said. Anyone who knows Durk knows that he is tough. He has overcome adversity in the past and used it to fuel his career. This time, however, the stakes are far higher. Not only is his freedom at risk, but also his entire legacy. Despite claims that he is ill because of the state of the food inn, Durk appears to be keeping his head up there. If Durk's legal team can raise enough questions about the feds, who have a lot to prove, they might be able to change the story to his advantage. It's absurd how silent Durk has been. According to DJ Envy, Durk's team might utilize the not guilty plea to draw attention to weaknesses in the prosecution's case, like claims of coded messages or bank transactions that purport to connect him to the plan. Fans have become used to his speaking out about issues directly through his songs or social media since his incarceration, but this time he is keeping it quiet. He appears to be letting the legal system do the talking, or perhaps he is delaying his comments till they are most important. The possible effects of this litigation on Durk's career were also discussed at the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne noted that although Durk has a sizable fan base, their allegiance might be put to the test in a protracted court dispute. Durk's not guilty plea sets the setting for what is certain to be a high-profile trial, and all eyes are on the courtroom right now, regardless of whether he is preparing his case or is simply waiting. He might possess one of the best comebacks in hip-hop history if he dispels these charges, but if he doesn't, it might be the end of his career, Angela said. Although it is certain that Durk will not be going down without a fight in prison, his situation is becoming worse every day, and it appears that the rapper is unaware of the extent to which the federal government is interfering in his personal matters while he is being held in the Miami detention facility. According to reports, Durk intends to submit a not guilty plea because he is so convinced of the charges that he plotted Quizzo Rondo's murder. However, he could not be aware of the vast amount of evidence the FBI has against him. Wire records, surveillance footage. The federal government is not tampering with financial data, and this case is becoming a masterclass in federal. According to court documents, investigations have been secretly constructing their case for months or perhaps years after Durk and his suspected collaborators did everything they could. From the booking of flights under Durk's business name to the cameras in Los Angeles that reportedly captured OTM members pursuing Rondo, the evidence appears to suggest a carefully thought-out series of events that ended at a gas station. The peculiar aspect: ambush. The feds are currently utilizing the paper trail that Durk purportedly produced by covering his crew's lodging and travel expenses. Calls, movements, and even purported payments made after everyone had returned to Chicago appear to have been captured on tape. Surveillance is always truthful. By providing these payments, the prosecution argues that Durk fulfilled his pledge to his team following the hit, and this case is already, compared to the Young Thugs, the FBI appears to have receipts for days at this time, and they move accurately. The layers of evidence purportedly include financial documents linking Durk to the funding of the trip in addition to monitoring. Similar tactics, like wiretaps, taped calls, and converting insiders into spies, are employed by the government to craft its narrative in the RICO situation. However, Durk might not even be aware of the full extent of the opposition. He has reportedly expressed his confidence in his team and informed people that he will be released soon. Although officials haven't revealed much yet and are keeping things under wraps, what they have revealed so far seems to implicate Allah and the subsequent actions. Legal experts observing the case predict that Durk's side will have a difficult time winning this one due to the financial tracking and the tape-as video proof, combined to produce a story that is difficult to refute, even with the strongest argument. Building a case that is so strong that it is nearly hard to refute is whether the Fed is skilled at anything. Durk appears to be using the duality to leave this situation with dignity while simultaneously concentrating on his family and music. But a federal apparatus is working hard to construct what they say is a compelling case that links him to some of the most grave charges that are now out there. Durk's fans are rooting for him and hope their favorite rapper wins. But the truth is that this is a federal court and the consequences are severe. If the feds are as good as they claim to be, Durk's optimism may be misguided. and the road ahead would be considerably more difficult than he had anticipated. We appreciate your time, and if you would like to see more videos from our channel, please click on any of the others. Remember to click the bell symbol, like, and subscribe for more.